Hello, ladies. Welcome. My name is Maya Diamond, and I'm excited to chat with you tonight on this live Q&A. 6:17 p.m. in Marin, California. And today, before we go into the live Q&A, the question and answer part, I just wanted to reflect on a teaching that I feel like is really important and something that's going to be really helpful and valuable for you. So last week I talked about attunement, and this week I'm going to talk about perception. So our perception is so powerful. What is our perception? Our perception is the lens through which we see the world. So when we have a certain perception, it allows us to see things that we wouldn't normally see. So if our lens through the world, and so how does this apply to dating and relationship? So if our lens through the world is there are no great guys, no great single guys where I live who are in my age range, then it's going to be harder to meet a great single guy in your age range where you live, right? So this is part law of attraction, but it's also just perception, right? If we feel like, oh, there's not going to be a pen on the counter, then it's going to be harder for us to see the pen on the counter. So this is something that is so powerful in terms of every single area of your life, right? Our perception very much creates our reality. So when we perceive, let me just kind of, share a lot of the lenses through which we can perceive dating, love, and relationship, that whole field that can really prevent us from moving forward. Because perception creates our mindset. So one perception is, there's no great single guys in my area. Another perception is, I'm not worthy of love, right? Perceiving yourself as not worthy of love, right? And so that can attract people who then mirror that unworthiness to you. Another perception could be men always leave me, right? Men always cheat on me. Men always leave me. Men always abandon me. So when we hold these different perceptions, then it's more likely that we may attract that. And so it's very powerful to, first of all, just notice what are the perceptions that you are carrying around dating, love, and relationship. And for everyone who's watching, if you can just share what's one perception what's one lens that you're seeing through the world in terms of dating and relationship. Is it, there's no great guy? And so if you're watching live or watching the recording, please just write in the chat box maybe one perception that maybe you have the perception that there are lots of great single guys in your age range. Or maybe you have the perception that you're just too old to find love. Or maybe you have the perception that, there's something wrong with your body, and so therefore you can't attract the love that you deeply desire. So if you could write in the chat box one perception that you are holding around love and relationship, that would be so helpful, because then I can see kind of what are the lenses that you're seeing in terms of dating and relationship. And if you're watching, you can just say hi as well, because I know this is vulnerable to share. So as we're talking about perception, if anyone has any questions for me today, please write it in the chat box. So please write and I'll write this in the chat box as well. Please write any questions that you have for me today, because I would love, thank you, Mary Ellen. So you said, my dating days are over. I've been married, had kids, no reason for God to send me another man. So right, beautiful. So that is your perception. Exactly. Thank you for sharing that. That's so helpful. So that is the perception, that is the lens that you're seeing, that your dating days are over, why would God send you another man, right? And that perception, unfortunately, is like a block, right? Because it just is, even energetically, it just feels like, whoa, that's like a block, right? And so what we want is, we want more openness. We want the feeling of, I always say, when I met my partner, I felt like, oh, it's just a matter of time till this person is coming into my life. I deeply felt that in my body. It's just a matter of time. So, yeah, it's really, so the first step is noticing, what are the perceptions, and please, if you're watching, you can add more in the chat box, like any other perceptions that your mind is spinning around dating and relationship. I'll say some of mine that I used to have, which was like, yeah, I'm not attractive enough for the guy that I desire, or I can't find a guy who's both, this was a big one, a big perception that I was carrying. I can't find a guy that's both spiritual and grounded, right? I thought, nope, men in the Bay Area don't exist like that. I can't find a guy that's both spiritual and grounded. But the truth was that that wasn't true at all, but that was my perception that I was carrying. So please write in the chat box any questions you have for me today, or any perceptions that you're carrying around dating and relationship that you want to let go of, that you're ready to let go of. Because again, the first step is awareness. So the more that we are aware of what these perceptions are, the more that we can release them. Let's see, what are some other good ones? Some other good ones are, yeah, maybe I'm just too old to find love. Maybe my time has passed. Maybe there aren't, guys who I want to date out there. Maybe there aren't guys who want to date me. Again, maybe I'm not smart enough. A perception could be, I'm not smart enough or interesting enough. That's one I hear a lot. I'm not interesting enough to attract the kind of guy I desire, or I'm just not enough. There's something wrong with me, or I'm just not enough to attract the person I desire. So that is, some form of that is super, super common. So just take a moment, feel into your perception, feel into what that feels like energetically. So we have this mindset, this window into this lens of our consciousness, and that affects us on an energetic level. It affects us on a body level. We carry that perception in our body, in our spirit, in our psyche. And so notice whatever, if you're watching live or the recording, I want you to notice that just one perception, it's one negative perception that you're holding around dating and relationship. And I want you to just take a moment and notice, how does that feel in your body? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel overwhelming? Does it feel sad? Does it feel, uncomfortable, like maybe a lot of tension in your stomach when you hold that perception? So just notice that one perception that you're holding around dating and relationship, if you can just focus on one right now, and then notice what is the energetic vibration in your body. How does that feel in your body? Okay. So beautiful. Mary Ellen wrote, another perception is that I can't let go of the last guy. He abused me, but he really loves me. Oh, so thank you for sharing, Mary Ellen. I want to just speak to that, because I'm sure there's a lot of women in this group who may have experienced that. And so I'm speaking to everyone in this group, not just you. So sounds like you can't, there's a part of you that doesn't want to let go, but then there's also a part of you that knows that he abused you. And then there's also a part of you that feels like he loved you, right? And so I encourage you I want you to just take a moment right now and to rewrite that belief. So I want you to ask you to write in the chat box, what is the opposite of that belief? I can't let go of the last guy. He abused me, but he really loves me. What is the opposite of that belief? And I'd like you to write that in the chat box. Because we get to rewrite these beliefs. We get to rewrite these stories. We get to rewrite these lenses, these perceptions that are in our consciousness, that are in our bodies, that we're holding in our energy fields. And then we get to actually experience something different. So again, the first step is to notice what is the lens. The second step is to feel how it's energetically in your body. What is the sensation? What is the feeling? And then the third step you can do is you can actually turn it around and give the exact opposite of that belief and see how that feels. So yeah, Mary Ellen, if you want to write in the chat box it feels wrong, like I'm wrong. I hate to be, one second. It's hard to read these. One second. I hate to be wrong, but I convince myself I can't. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite that belief for you. So the exact opposite of I can't let go of the last guy, he abused me, but he really loves me, is, one second, let me write that down. He abused me, but he really loves me. Yeah. Okay, I can easily let go of that troubled man who is unable to love. Beautiful, Marianne. So yeah, I didn't even have to do it for you. Beautiful. So opposite is I can easily let go of that troubled man, beautiful, who is unable to love me like I deserve. So I want you to write that down, and I'd like you to say that to yourself every single day in front of the mirror, and that's going to help you move forward. So thank you so much for sharing that. That's so, so powerful, because that you deserve someone who can love you the way that you deserve to be loved. You deserve someone who treats you with kindness, who treats you with respect, who treats you with honoring, who is responsive to your needs, who's responsive to your requests, who cares about your feelings, who is not violent, who's kind and compassionate and loving, right? So you deserve that. And there is no doubt in my mind that you can have that. And the sooner we create that space, the sooner the new person is able to come in who can treat us that way. So thank you so much for sharing that, Mary Ellen. Super, super helpful. So now what I'd like to do is, does anyone have any questions? Welcome, Lacey. Does anyone have any questions that they're burning before we end tonight? I would love to see. So we talked about our perceptions. We talked about how our perceptions can help create the reality, what we see in the world. And we talked about being able to shift those perceptions into a different story, which helps attract something different. And I'm wondering, does anyone else have any questions for tonight? And if not, I'm going to write in the chat box, anyone who has watched this, I invite you to a free love breakthrough session with a member of my team, so that you can dive deeper into kind of seeing these patterns of perception, these patterns in your love life, and see if we're a great match for working together. So I just want to make sure that you have that. So I put the link in the chat box, and that's for anyone who's watching this who feels like they want to dive deeper into this work and see if we're a great match for working together. So, and you'll either talk to me or a member of my team. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. It's been wonderful. And I really thank everyone for showing up, for asking questions, for sharing your vulnerability. And I will see you not next week, actually, I'm going to be out of town, but I will see you the following week, the Labor Day week. And I will announce what time and day I'm going on that week. Mary Ellen, yeah, I think it would be amazing for you to do that call with me or a member of my team if you want to sign up for that. And thank you, everyone, for watching now or later. Sending you each so much love and care and big hugs and self-care and compassion and acceptance. And I will see you all very soon. Thank you so much. Bye.